I was on the Zeph Daniels show, which is my favorite radio show, geopolitical and truth speak. Zeph is a courageous host, and he had me on his show, and it was I'm so used to doing our shows and just talking about the cases, and it's kind of just bullet points and reading, and I didn't realize, speaking about my own experiences and how I came to do this type of work, it would trigger me a little bit. And I think that I experienced a little bit of healing on his show. I felt myself regress, but I was that day, California coast, Donald Trump sent off of the California coast 3 Minuteman missile. This concerns me.
Okay. The reason I say that, just another distraction, nothing to do with the core issues of America. It's very strange that they would even bring up North Korea after all these years. It's really entertainment. We can't believe anything they tell us about anything going on over there, so it's like the most stalest possible event. Supposedly the senators are all being called back from vacation. Drama, the most, this North Korea has been an old story. I mean, they were talking about North Korea back in 2000.
I feel like they showed some footage of a bunch of bombs blowing off, and it felt like it was old footage, like sort of like propaganda-ish.
Yeah, if you do research, there's research out there that says that those type of bombs don't really exist. That a lot of them, and they may exist and may not. I haven't looked into it enough, but they do show how, as we grew up, we were always shown those images of the houses blowing away, like the Wizard of Oz, and these big mushrooms, and
So how do you feel being over there in California?
Sure. California, it's fine, same as it's always been, just dealing with some hyperinflation. So, everything is expensive. We're peaking out. I think we're in a depression for growth, stagnation. We're facing gridlock over on the freeway, the 101 freeway into Hollywood. It's 2 hours to go 20 miles in 2 hours, but gridlock, it's locking up, literally. It's the worst ever. No one's doing anything about it. Nobody's getting all the big rigs off big rigs shouldn't be on the highway at certain times. But when you say how is it in California, it's taken over. It's really screwed. There's not a lot of growth or ambition for growth. We're on the borderline recession, depression, and there's just poverty and not a lot of optimism for real growth, meaningful growth. But still, there's a lot of activity here, but it's coming to gridlock on the freeway, and a change in the environment because of the minimum wage increase. They're going to $15, and how companies always want to do more with less. So the job market's going to get worse, and the worse everything gets, that's what they want. They want failure. I can't imagine going to Skid Row right now and seeing the mental illness and homelessness down there. I'm sure it's at a peak point. And the type of homelessness, we're seeing more true mental illness of maybe it's the drugs they're getting. There's something going on with the homeless, that they're more hardcore crazy. I mean, well, they've lost their mind. They're talking.
There's definitely something going on with the untreated people. They're untreated. There's no mental health services, and there's definitely. I agree with you on that. There's something going on in that.
Yeah, maybe it's the medications they were given, and now they're off them, and the homeless crazy are have never been more crazy, and that's why I fear going down to Skid Row in LA to be down there, because nobody cares. Nobody cares. You have all these homeless. It's dirty down there. There's homeless everywhere. It smells like urine, and nobody cares. LA is the incubator of America, because it has so many different cultures, and it's such a huge population, and we really don't have a mass transit system. But they do experiments here in LA, and use it as a test bed for all sorts of things.
Yeah, and they're getting ready to pass that SB 18 bill, and it's going to impose vaccinations and mass experimentation on a large population that is California. And it's really scary. It's unconstitutional. It's a violation of so many rights. Danny, you talk, because I have to step away for just a minute. Keep talking.
Got it. Yes. So California is just corrupt to the core. Yeah, no one's solving real problems that need to be solved. Poverty, inflation, opportunity, prosperity, what the kids are learning in school. They're not teaching kids to prepare in any way, shape, or form for the workplace. They're teaching them stuff that's, they need to bring back the trades back to the schools. Electricians, roofers, contractors, framers, builders, all sorts of trades need to be brought back into the schools. By them neglecting what these children need to prepare to get hands-on experience in trades that are realistic, instead of studying some trigonometry that they're never going to use, or geography, or whatever it be, outer space. They're not going to be a spaceman. They're not going to be a doctor. Most 97%, 95% are just going to be lay people. That just how everything works. They're not teaching kids in schools, so we have a massive neglect issue. And I would consider it abuse to take a child for so long and not truly prepare him for the workplace, or tell him very specifically what's going on and how to always try to fix things.
I'm back.
Yes, go ahead.
The SB 18 that they've broken up and they've split into to submit through a series of other bills. This is gonna have a wide range of effects on eliminating constitutional rights in the state of California.
Sure, I don't believe we have any constitutional rights in children's court, civil dependency court. There's no real rights there, and that's how they're able to get away with everything. Just massive scam, massive manipulation. The whole system, the way it's designed, it's unbelievable what they're able to get away with.
And once they get your children and they take them and they get them in this system, the child is a jurisdiction of the state. That means that the parents can no longer oversee their medical health. The state can now administer any kind of medical testing or vaccines that they want to. There's no due process in these courts. If you have allegations against you and you want to submit evidence that you're innocent and this is just sheer gossip, the attorneys that work for the state, the public defenders, they withhold it because it's not. They need to substantiate the cases in order to generate money for the state. The children are the ones that really suffer, and they truly do suffer in foster care. Foster care is not a good place for children. It's a complete and utter failure. There's no way to explain it. There's no other way to articulate it. And there are people, people have better ideas. They have ideas. I have ideas for a better foster care system. But there's, we're talking decades and years, hundreds of years of this corruption that seems to be becoming more and more prevalent in our society. And the people just simply cannot sustain this level of corruption. They just simply cannot do it. And it's coming at the cost of our children.
They've been, it's just they've been getting away with it. They have a target market. Nancy said that they had expected numbers of adoptions based on population. So there's a core numbers that they go after, and these this is for everything from adoptions to fosters to how many people we have in poverty or what they can get away with, and they're just pushing it across the board, pushing the failure from poverty to homelessness to inducing any problem that they can create. They're doing it. They're pushing all the buttons, and that's how they're bringing in more laws to restrict people from doing things. And it's usually free speech or liberties, civil liberties that they're taking from people. But it's a slaughterhouse, children's court. It's just so ugly and so corrupt, and all we need is a camera in there, and that would make a lot of change. But they're just getting away. That it protects the wrong people. Nancy Schaefer said it. The privacy and secrecy law or whatever. It's just protecting the wrong people. It's not protecting kids. So you're dealing with a $1 trillion monster. A $500 billion monster. It's just huge, the amount of money that's going into the whole system to keep the war on children and families and separating and trafficking them. And
I don't think people really understand that we are like one generation away from becoming extinct, just simply because they've eradicated the traditional family structure or unit from society.
Exactly. They've been doing it for years. It's been systematic. People have never looked at the big picture. Everyone's just looking at one little problem. But the farther away you get, you see the big picture, how they've demonized fathers. They've promoted the women's movement. They've
promoted divisiveness between the women and the men.
And the child support. Oh my God.
Or what is it? Bisexual relationships, transgender, anything but the traditional.
The deadbeat dad. The deadbeat dad. He's in a recession. He can't get a job. He's a deadbeat. Let's take his license and put him in prison. The economy's broken. There's not meaningful work that could ever support a family, or to pay child support and support yourself. Just the demeaning, degrade, this is just a very
if they don't have anything on you and you are a productive person in society, they create something. They completely fabricate
one way or another.
Case. So they get you one way or the other. And they use your children to basically they take your children and they hold your children if you don't submit.